The key phrase there is changes, and joined now by Steve Melewski. Excuse me, Steve. Let's talk a little bit about the changes now. In other words, they were more changes a couple of weeks ago, and now some more today.
Right, and I mean, kind of inevitable, Tom, although no one, it's a tough day around here because in all cases, these were people who did a lot of good things for the Orioles. In some cases, they are people who did a lot of good things for the Orioles for a long time. But Mike Elias coming in has to be able to bring in his own people, mold the organization the way he wants. As he said today, we are repositioning our organization for the future. And as you heard him say, change is the right thing for the organization right now. That's what he believes. He also said the player development staff could wind up being larger after all these changes and some new hires are made.
Now let's talk a little bit about an analytical look at the Orioles pitching from the minors. What do you have for us tonight?
Well, we're going to look at two of the young studs in this organization. I mean, these kids are really good. DL Hall, and we're looking at fielding independent pitching, which is like ERA, but it takes out the balls in play. It essentially is what the pitcher can control. Walks, strikeouts, hit by pitch, and home runs. And he scored pretty well there, better than his overall ERA for Frederick. Just 20 years old, and look out how the strikeout rate went up, Tom. In the second half, DL Hall pitched to an ERA of 2.85 in Frederick. For the second year in a row, this kid got better as the season went on. And look at the strikeout rate. His walk rate was too high this year. The strikeout rate, though, really jumps off the page. Grayson Rodriguez, 19 tremendous numbers in the South Atlantic League. As the pitching coach, Justin Ramsey, told me the area has great aptitude. He would take what they taught him and then, in his words, go apply it. And he did that all year long. He's developed now 5 pitches, Tom. Fastball, changeup, slider, curve, and he's working on a cutter. And look at how he kept the ball in the ballpark. The home run ratio is incredibly low. They didn't hit him much at all, and they certainly didn't hit the ball out of the park on him. So Grayson, 19, DL Hall, 20. That's pretty exciting for the Orioles.
Those strikeout numbers are pretty exciting for both pitchers. But let's talk a little bit more about analyzing some of the hitting.
Well, let's look at some of the top hitters, and again, some of the advanced statistical numbers here. Weighted runs created plus 100 is league average. So at Aberdeen this year in the New York Penn League, Adley Rutschman was 66% above the average player. Tremendous numbers. And weighted runs created plus, kind of an encompassing stat, puts extra weight, on the extra base hits more than a single. And this kid really did a great job hitting. When he went to Delmarva, his first game, he caught a 5-pitcher shutout. They were raving about how he quickly picked up the scouting report. He had such a soft hands catching the ball. He was framing pitches. He was taking charge. So, Tom, everything the Orioles hoped he would be, offensively and defensively. Ryan Mountcastle, the International League MVP, incredible year. Career high batting average of balls in play. This is balls in play, not home runs, because they're over the fence, out of play. But many ways to look at that. BABIP for Mountcastle. One would be he hit the ball so hard this year that when it was in play, it found grass or went over the wall. So, I mean, this kid was really impressive with his stats. Yusniel Diaz, we know he had a couple of injuries this year for Bowie, but again, he got better as the year went on. That's a really good number, 35% ahead of the Eastern League for Yusniel Diaz, who we saw hit 2 homers in the Futures game last year. So 3 bats that really did some really good things this year for the Orioles.
And, Stephen, those numbers for the OPS are in the 800 pluses. They're impressive, right?
Impressive, yes. That's a good number. And as we know, they put it on the scoreboard here. It's a number Sig Mejdal likes. On base plus slugging. If you're 800 or better, you're pretty good. If you're well into the 800s, you're really good. If you're 900 or better, you're probably all-star caliber. So some good numbers for those kids.
Now, Bowie plays Trenton tonight, first of a 5-game series. First 2 games are in Trenton. The next 3 come to Bowie, if necessary, if it goes that long. How about the Bowie Bay Sox? They're going to have to beat some pretty good pitching, right?
This is kind of crazy, but it's legal. Major league pitchers can go on rehab assignments in minor league playoff games. So tonight, Bowie will face 3 major league pitchers. Jordan Montgomery is starting that game. Delvin Betances will come into the game. Stephen Tarpley, we're told, will come into the game. Tomorrow night, remember Luis Severino won 19 games last year for the Yankees? He's facing the Bay Sox tomorrow night. So the Yankees, I don't think they did this to stack their team, Tom, which I think Oriole fans would love to call them out on and say, come on, Yankees, what are you doing? They're trying to get pitchers ready for their playoffs. It is legal. We don't have to like it, but Bowie is going to have to try to beat those pitchers in the first 2 games at Trenton, and then they'll come home Thursday night and face potentially merely just an Easter League pitcher.
Hopefully.
Yes.
We always appreciate everything Steve has to say. Check him out on MASNsports.com. We'll update you on that Bowie Trenton game tonight on O's Extra.